The Real Weather Watch is brought to you by DeKalb, unstoppable yield momentum. We're here on RealAgriculture.com for another episode of Real Weather Watch, sponsored by DeKalb. Today we're joined by Gina Ressler. She is from Oakville, Ontario with the Weather Network. Welcome to Gina.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk today about the Western Prairies. And please tell me today that this cold front, or whatever you call this is like the Arctic across the prairies. This is going to not be short-lived, right?
Well, I do have some good news for you, actually. I know you guys have been suffering out there for the last couple of days with that blast of Arctic air, wind chills in the minus 40s, almost minus 50. Well, I do have good news. It is coming to an end. We're going to start to see that Arctic air move off to the east, kind of weaken a little bit as we head into the weekend. Those temperatures right across the prairie as we head into the weekend are going to be approaching that seasonal mark and even above seasonal for many locations, especially in through southern Alberta, Calgary, south to Lethbridge, Medicine Hat. You're going to find a dramatic warming as we get into Saturday. Temperatures actually bumping back up above zero as we get those westerly winds, those Chinook winds off the Rockies. And looking at the long-range models into next week, it does look like this milder weather is going to stick around for a bit, or at least more seasonal type weather. It looks like kind of the worst is over for this Arctic blast that you've been seeing. And you're kind of in the clear at least for the next week or so. That's not to say that you're out of the woods yet. There's still quite a few more weeks left of winter, still all February to get through. So I'm not going to promise that you're not going to see another Arctic blast as we head into the rest of winter.
Yeah, I was in Saskatoon last week. This week, I'm in Lethbridge this week. And there's limited amounts of snow. It is cold, but there's limited amounts of snow. A lot of farmers are starting to somewhat get concerned about the lack of snowfall we're getting this winter. What do you have to say about that?
Well, looking at some of the long-range models, as we kind of get out of this Arctic blast and more into a more seasonal temperatures or even milder temperatures, it is looking like you're going to be getting into some drier air as well. A lot of that moisture is just tracking onto the west coast of BC, and then as it descends the Rockies, you're going to get that drying air, that warming and drying air. We do have the potential for some clipper systems to be moving across the Rockies, but in terms of big snowfall amounts, at least into the next 2 weeks, it's not looking like there's going to be any major precipitation events. So we'll have to kind of keep watching through the rest of winter.
So we've had limited snowfall all winter. Things usually average out. So does this push us at all to expecting a very wet spring or wet summer?
At this point, it's still, I think, too early to say. I know in the prairies, as you experienced this past week, things can change very dramatically in a very short period of time.
Really? 2 weeks ago, people are running in shorts and tank tops in the park.
Yeah.
This week,
Yeah.
you can't even go outside.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the change happens fast, but what does this mean?
Yeah. So really, when we're doing our forecasts, we can do them until about 2 weeks or so when we're actually looking at specific low pressure systems. And then kind of after that, we can really only get an idea of what the pattern kind of might produce for the prairies. So as we head into the next few weeks of winter, it's really, I think anything can happen at this point.